Dear friends, the Fat Controller's engines are now quite famous. They have been on the radio and had many other adventures. But he had another plan too for his engines, and this book will tell you what it was. The author.
Henry wanted to rest, but Percy was talking to some engines. He was telling them about the time he had braved bad weather to help Thomas. It was raining hard. Water swirled under my boiler. I couldn't see where I was going, but I struggled on. Oh, Percy, you are brave. Well, it wasn't anything really. Water's nothing to an engine with determination. Tell us more, Percy. What are you engines doing here? Hissed Henry. The shed is for the Fat Controller's engines. Go away. Silly things, Henry snorted.
Check you stay.
They're not silly. Percy had been enjoying himself. They are silly, and so are you. Water's nothing to an engine with determination. Huh! Anyway, said cheeky Percy, I'm not afraid of water. I like it. He ran off to the harbour singing. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. No one ever let me forget the time I wouldn't come out of the tunnel in case the rain spoilt my paint, huffed Henry. Thomas was looking at a board on the quay. Danger! We mustn't go past it, he said. That's orders. Why? Danger means falling down something, said Thomas. I went past danger once and fell down a mine. I can't see a mine, said Percy. He didn't know that the foundations of the quay had sunk. The rails now sloped downward to the sea. Stupid board, said Percy. Percy made a plan. One day he whispered to the trucks, will you give me a bump when we get to the quay? The trucks had never been asked to bump an engine before. They giggled and chatted about it. Driver doesn't know my plan, chuckled Percy. On, laughed the trucks. Percy thought they were helping. I'll pretend to stop at the station, but the trucks will push me past the board. Then I'll make them stop. I can do that whenever I like. Every wise engine knows that you cannot trust trucks. Go on, they yelled, and dropped Percy's driver and fireman off the footplate. Oh, said Percy, sliding past the board. Percy was frantic. Betsy not! Percy was sunk. You are a very disobedient engine. Percy knew that voice. Please, sir, get me out, sir. I'm truly sorry, sir. No, Percy, we cannot do that till high tide. I hope it will teach you to obey orders. Yes, sir. It was dark when they brought floating cranes to rescue Percy. He was too cold and stiff to move by himself. Next day he was sent to the works on Henry's goods train. Well, chuckled Henry. Did you like the water? No, I am surprised. You need more determination, Percy. Water's nothing to an engine with determination, you know. Perhaps you will like it better next time. Percy is quite determined that there won't be a next time.
There are people from the other railway who travels to the island of Sodor. Engines from the other railway takes them there. Sometimes the engines on the other railway stays on the island for the night, so they don't have to go all the way back to fetch their coaches and leave the next day. One day, an engine stayed on the island as Gordon decided to chat with him.
When I was young and green, I used to go to London a lot of times. I still remember going there to this day. Do you know the place? I believe it's called, King's Cross.
King's Cross? Are you that old? It's called Euston. And everybody knows that.
Rubbish! London's Paddington. I know that because I worked there before I came here.
They continued arguing for the rest of the day, and continued that night at the sheds. And even continued arguing after the engine left.
Don't believe me. I was built there, so I know it's King's Cross.
Nonsense! Before I was brought by Sir Tom Hat, it was Paddington. You hear? Paddington!
Oh, why don't you two stop arguing? You're giving me a headache. Besides, you two are right about something.
What's that?
But London is not Euston. Now shut up and let me sleep.
Gordon was still grumbling when he puffed away.
I'm sure it's King's Cross. I guess I'll have to prove it.
But I'm sorry to say that it was easier than done. You see, London lay beyond the big station at the other end of the line. Gordon had to stop there. Then another engine will take his place. But one day, he had an idea.
If I don't stop at a station, then I can go straight to London.
So he raced past the station, but his driver pulled the brakes and stopped him.
Gordon, what were you thinking?
Darn it!
The next day, he started before the fireman can uncouple the coaches. But his driver stopped him too. He tried everything to get to London, but it was no use. His driver would always stop him.
I'll never get to London.
But one day he finally got his chance. He was at the sidings, feeling depressed, when the station master walked up to him.
So Tom would like to have a word with you in his office, driver.
So the driver climbed down off Gordon and went into the office. When he came out, he was very excited.
What's going on?
The engine that was supposed to take the express got into an accident, so we're going to take it today.
Oh, that's fantastic! Wait a minute. How did he get into an accident?
Hey, look! Get out of my way! Whoa!
Ow. He didn't really say, but I'm sure it's nothing for us to worry. Now come on, we've got an express to pull.
Right, we'll show how hard the engines work on this island.
Hallelujah! Let's go!
So Gordon raced to the station where the express was. He coupled up to it, and he was on his way to London. He found out that it was a long way to get there, but he didn't mind that at all. He found it as great as it was to do his exercise. When he got there, he was exhausted, but proud with it.
Oh, now this is lovely. Where have I been for all these years?
Just then, someone walked up to him.
Hello there.
I don't think I see you around here. Are you a new engine?
No, indeed. I'm just taking the express for today due to a train accident.
Oh, I see. What's your name?
Well, my name is Gordon.
Gordon? You mean you're the brother of the Flying Scotsman?
Indeed I am, and I'm proud of it. Speaking of which, where's he anyway?
Oh, he's probably on the other side of the country. He is a busy engine, you know. Say, mind if we take a few pictures of you?
Well, I don't see why not, old chump. Take as many as you like.
All right then, thank you. Oh, and welcome to St. Pancras.
Why, thank you very... Wait, what did you just say?
Smile for the camera.
My eyes!
The next day, Gordon returned to Sodor. He was at the site where Thomas, Percy, and Sir Topham Hatt were waiting for him. They looked very excited.
Well, Gordon, I saw you on the front cover of last night's paper and read the article about you being there. You must be really proud of yourself.
Actually, I'm not, sir.
What? Why not?
It's because they changed the name of the station. It's no longer King's Cross. It's called St. Pancras. Boy, wait till Doug hears about that.
Well, that sucks. And I thought the closing of Toys R Us was bad enough.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Why, haven't you heard? Toys R Us have closed. The US, Australia and Canada are now the only countries that still has it going from what I know.
Sir, you shouldn't have said all that.
Why not?
Because he's a huge fan of that store, and he didn't get the news about the bankruptcy till now, thanks to you. No!
The island of Sodor had many visitors, and Sir Topham Hatt had scheduled more trains. Gordon, the big engine, had to work harder than ever before. "Come on," he called to the coaches. "Come on, come on, come on. The passengers rely on me to be on time." Whenever Gordon finished one journey, it was time for another to begin. "Never mind," he puffed. "I like a long run to stretch my wheels." Even so, Sir Topham Hatt decided that Gordon needed a rest. "James shall do your work," he said kindly. James was delighted. He liked to show off his smart red paint and was determined to be as fast as Gordon. "You know, little Toby," he boasted, "I'm an important engine. Everyone knows it. I'm as regular as clockwork. Never late, always on time. That's me." "Says you," replied Toby. Just then Sir Topham Hatt arrived. "Your parts are worn, Toby, so you must go to the works to be mended." "Can I take Henrietta, sir?" "No. What would the passengers do without her?" Toby saw Percy by the water tower. "Don't worry, Toby. I'll take care of Henrietta until you get back." Soon Toby was out on the main line. He clanked as he trundled along. He's a little engine with small wheels. His tanks don't hold much water. He had come a long way and began to feel thirsty. In the distance was a signal. "Good," he thought. "There's a station ahead. I can have a nice drink and a rest until James has passed." Toby was enjoying his drink when the signalman came up. He had never seen Toby before. Toby's driver tried to explain, but the new signalman wouldn't listen. We must clear the line for James with the express. You'll have to get more water at the next station. Hurrying used a lot of water and his tanks were soon empty. Poor Toby was out of steam and stranded on the main line. We must warn James, said the fireman. Then he saw Percy and Henrietta. Please, take me back to the station. It's an emergency. Henrietta hated leaving Toby. Never mind, said Percy. You're taking the fireman to warn James. That's a big help. Henrietta felt much better. James was fuming when he heard the news. I'm going to be late. My fault, said the signalman. I didn't understand about Toby. Now, James, said his driver, you'll have to push Toby. What, me? Snorted James. Me? Push Toby and pull my train too? Grumbling dreadfully, James set off to find Toby. He came up behind Toby and gave him a bump. Get on, you! James had to work very hard. When he reached the workstation, he felt exhausted. Some children were on the platform. Coo! The express is late, and it's got 2 engines. I think James couldn't pull it on his own, so Toby had to help him. Never mind, James, whispered Toby. They're only joking, said James. Toby just smiled. One evening, Thomas brought his last train to the junction. Percy was glad to see him. Are you on your way to the big station, Thomas? Yes, I am. Why? Because I'm going there, too. I think something's up. Toby looked up at the sky. Where? Not up there. Down here, laughed Thomas. How can something be up when it's down? Thomas was too excited to explain. Bust my buffers! Look over there! Mavis, Boko, Bill, Ben, Donald, Oliver, and Douglas paraded past. Good evening, you 3, whistled Donald. Aren't we all a fine sight? Very splendid indeed, admired Toby. Sorry we can't stop. Sir Topham Hatt wants us all together at the station. What is this about? Asked Thomas. Sir Topham Hatt has a plan, answered his driver. Come on. So they followed the other engines to the big station at the end of the line. Silence, called Sir Topham Hatt. I have an important letter to read from a little girl who is 5 years old. Dear Thomas and all the engines, please can I meet you? My friends say they would like to meet you too. You could come to my house for tea, but my mummy says there aren't any railway tracks to my house. Can you come to the station instead? Thank you very much. It seems, continued Sir Topham Hatt, that there are many girls and boys who would like to meet you. Therefore, we are all going to the big city far away. Hooray! Hooray! The engines whistled. Silence! Other engines will be working here while you're away, so please show them what to do. As Annie and Clarabelle were going to the big city too, Thomas and Oliver practiced with some other coaches. Thomas grew more and more excited. Too excited for his own good. I'm glad I'm a splendid engine, he puffed. Sir Topham Hatt thinks I'm really useful. I had a race with Bertie once. I whooshed through the tunnel and stopped an inch from the buffers. Then Thomas made his mistake. Just like this, he boasted. No, 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 no! No one was hurt, but
badly bent. They telephoned to Sir Topham Hatt. "I'll send up the workmen," he said. "But if they can't mend Thomas in time, we'll have to go to the big city without him." Poor Thomas. 8 o'clock next morning, the engines waited at the junctions. Toby and Percy were each on a truck, and Duck had pushed them into place behind Edward. Gordon, James, and Henry were waiting to lead off. They whistled impatiently. Sir Topham Hatt looked at his watch. "I'll wait one more minute for Thomas, then we have to go." "Oh, thank goodness you're still here," panted Thomas. "I hope we're not late, as it's just after 8. The conductor blew his whistle and waved his flag. The engines cheered. "Look out, big city, here we come!" And the cavalcade puffed away. Later in the big city, all the engines were lined up in a splendid shed. Children were delighted to meet their friends. "I'm glad the little girl wrote to us," whispered Thomas to Percy. "Isn't it wonderful what happiness a letter can bring?"